Daniel Garcia. This is the playoffs, Larry. Nothing comes easy. Stop pushing the scared narrative. I'm not pushing any narrative. I'm just telling you the Packers are legit.
Yeah.
And if you don't believe it, you may find out the hard way. And if the Niners don't believe it, they may find out the hard way. That's all I'm saying. You don't be scared, but proper, appropriate fear of your opponent is a good thing. Make no mistake.
All right, it's the old Greg Popovich. Appropriate fear.
Appropriate fear. The Niners they went to Philly with appropriate fear that the Eagles could beat them, and they fired a big, big effort. All I'm saying is they got to be on edge in this game the way they were on edge in that game. They will not roll their jocks out there and just be like, Green Bay's just going to wither and die and curl up in the fetal position. It ain't going to happen. And don't tell me it's the playoffs. Sometimes teams do wind up curling up in a ball and doing nothing. I think you just saw it from Dallas. All I'm saying is Green Bay is legit. And unlike some teams where it's like, hey, you know what? Take away CeeDee Lamb, take away Tony Pollard, and then you've got it. You're halfway home. They don't have that kind of player. It's not like, oh, you take away Romeo Doubs, they're cooked. No, they go to Jaden Reed. Oh, take away Tucker Kraft, they're done. No, they'll go to their other tight end. So, I mean, they really do have depth of weapons that makes defending them a real challenge.
And they're well coached.
They're
well. Good. I mean, they're really good. And again, LaFleur has got one of the better winning percentages of any young head coach in NFL history. He's put together an awful lot of winning early in his career. I'm sure a part of him feels like, knocking on the door with Aaron Rodgers and then having to reset that, go to another quarterback. It's not quite like it's the same team that's been knocking on the door for a while. But this isn't the first time, Kyle Shanahan's met the Green Bay Packers in the postseason. Not the first time he's met Matt LaFleur in the postseason.
It is the first time they've faced this Jordan Love in the postseason, though. And the one thing about Jordan Love that is a little scary is that you can kind of tell that he's in a great groove. So it's not like he's going to have to, will he or will he not find his rhythm? Just assume that Saturday night when that anthem plays, this guy's going to be in full rhythm. So it's really the first obligation of Kasarik and Wilkes on defense is disrupt that incredible rhythm that Jordan Love we know has going right now.
It's one of those games where the pressure's not enough. You need to get home. There's got to be a sack on Jordan Love. Just pressuring Jordan Love and making Jordan Love uncomfortable is a great place to start, but it's not a good place to finish. The finish is the sack.
Right.
And it's got to be Bosa, and it's got to be, Chase Young, and it's got to be Javon Hargrave. There has to be pressure in that guy's lap. And if you do that, it's going to take pressure off the young secondary, which we were just naming, player by player, and everything starts working easier. The one thing that I'm just guaranteed you're not going to see Aaron Jones have that kind of a day against the 49ers. They don't allow those days. They haven't allowed any running back to have that kind of a day in years. And so if the Niners really choose their divisional round in 2024 is the first time they're going to allow an individual rusher over 100 yards in like a 3-touchdown afternoon, shame on them. They will have deserved to have lost that game. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's who they are. I don't think it's how they're coached. I don't think it's how they're going to play. But this is a red alert opponent, as they all are. I mean, here's the thing. I hate the old, well, Miami hasn't played anybody. Shut up. They're playing an NFL schedule. They're not playing SWAC opponents on the way to go and meet the Ravens over in Germany or whatever. I mean, they're playing NFL teams, and I keep on preaching that NFL teams all the time can beat any other NFL team. And that goes doubly like in the playoffs, because if there's no such thing as a bad regular season team, there's even less such of a thing as a bad postseason team.
It's who you play. It's who you play and how you played them. I mean, that's as simple as that. I mean, yeah, Miami's played a bunch of good teams, but they lost to them all year. Dallas played a bunch of good teams, but they either lost to them or barely beat them. So you have to look closely at the schedule, but it's really how you're playing here. It's mid-January. It's like how you playing now. And right, and the big problem, the big question with the Niners was, would they get rest? Then they got rest. Now the big question is, will they be rusty? And that's on Shanahan to make sure that whatever way he structures practice this week and how they go about their business, that when they hit the field on Saturday night, they aren't rusty, that they're at full tilt and ready to roll.
I reject even the concept of rust because we've talked about this.
It can't happen.
There's no rust factor on this team. The rest is more important than anything for a team this experienced, this old. You want that. And so we can't get the thing that we want and then complain about the negative effects that could come off the thing that you said you wanted.
No, but Steve Young, who's been there before, was concerned about 3 weeks off for Brock and would he be rusty? And, I'll defer to Steve that he's not totally out over his skis, that, he has that belief. He has that belief for a reason. And all I'm saying is, if you are rusty and you're taking on a quarterback like Love right now, who rolls in on a phenomenal rhythm, he's carrying with him a great rhythm. Disrupting that rhythm is going to be object number one of the defense. Establishing your own rhythm is the number one goal of your offense. Those are two big things that have to happen in the first quarter of this game Saturday night for the Niners to win. Gotta disrupt the incredible rhythm that Love has, and you got to make sure whatever rust you have, you shake it off and you're ready to roll. I'm not concerned about Brock Purdy. I'm really not. I just think, though, what is concerning is that the 49ers are even though they're the veteran team that's been there and done it, when you watch them this year, you wonder if they're fragile because they seem like they only can win one way, which is they get a lead, they score going into the half, they score coming out of the half, they then make you one-dimensional, they pin their ears back in the fourth quarter, and they win 31-17, 31-21, something like that. That seems kind of like their comfortable route. Can they win a game where it's not a comfortable route and they're down 17-3? Can they win a game where suddenly the other team's got momentum and they've got to take it back mid-game down 10? I mean, they may be able to do it. We just haven't seen it this year, and that concerns me.
I haven't seen it this year, haven't seen it any year under Kyle, frankly, and that is a little bit of a concern. So again, if that's the box you're worried of, stay out of that box, and it's up to the 49ers to get good starts to stay